going on? Lee Sanders here. You're checking out an all-new Wednesday night edition of the RCWR show, coming at you for April 22nd of 2020. Yeah, we're getting used to this new time frame. I am still continuing to poll you guys. We're kind of following up. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Why is there not a picture? I am wondering what's going on. Hang on a second. I'm seeing some technical... No, we're actually good. Okay, good. That's weird because I'm looking at the back end and all I saw was a black screen for about... felt like maybe 30 seconds. So I'm not really sure what was going on there. Hopefully you guys don't get that at your end when you're watching this. I'll have to peep that out in post-production. And if anything weird, I'll probably have to crop that out. But once again, welcome. You're checking out an all-new The RCWR Show. Lee Sanders here. Checking us out for Wednesday night of April 22nd, 2020. Getting used to this new time format here because we did poll you guys effective as of Monday. Wanted to know what's up with Wednesday nights? How do you guys want it from here on out? And there was a couple of options that I had put out there for you guys. And the lead dog was basically, now you know what, Lee, come on live at 11 p.m. on Wednesday nights. That actually works better. I'll actually check out the show live, and I'm actually looking at the polling results right now. That's going to be open for the entire week, basically. So you guys can just continue to cast your vote. That poll is only available on YouTube, so head on over there. Those of you that's going to be listening to this on demand and on the downloads, youtube.com/the RCWR show. But the poll is there, asking you guys, what would you like to see happen to the Wednesday night show? Your first option, yes, 11 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays is fine. I'll check it out live. We got about 58% of folks that voted for that option. Meanwhile, we got about 33% that said, no, go ahead and do a show on a different day, mainly when you have a day off. 8% coming in, no, just release an audio show on demand and on the downloads. And you got one more option. Nobody's picked it. I don't think anybody, I think I've covered all the bases, which is why nobody else is selecting that one, which is basically other. Leave the comment with suggestions below. But top dog right now, 58%. We got folks saying, no, you know what, Lee, come on live at 11 p.m. Eastern. Works out great. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing from here on out. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll let this poll remain open for another... We'll wrap up the rest of the month of April. We'll go ahead and we'll have April close out with that poll. And then basically the first Tuesday in the month of May, I'll say that's when we'll go ahead and we'll close the polling. So you guys have plenty of time to cast your vote. That's pretty much the only thing I'm going to post on there because I'm curious how you guys would like to see the show going forward. So I got to tell you, it was actually nice kicking back tonight after I got in from work. And it was nice to just be in a really good, solid position where I didn't have to be so time conscious as I normally would be Wednesday nights when I'm just flipping through both channels, or I've got one show streaming on the TV and the other show is streaming on the tablet. It was nice to just come in, fully just watch one show, fast forward through the commercials and everything. Okay, I'm done with that show. Then go to the other show and pretty much do the same thing and not have to worry about the 10 p.m. But at the same time, I'm still giving you guys my instant reactions to seeing both shows. So it's not as though I've had a day or more to think about these shows. And most importantly, we got to remember something. I haven't watched NXT and AEW in about... What's it been? 2 weeks? I think it's been. I don't think it's been 3 weeks. I'm pretty sure it's been about 2 weeks worth of shows I've missed. I'd be shocked if it was actually 3 weeks. But my point is, I went into both shows. Okay, whatever problems I may have possibly had, not that I could really remember from a few weeks ago, clean slate. Let's see how both shows are gonna do this go round. And I gotta tell you, I was actually quite entertained with both shows tonight. I gotta be totally honest with you. I enjoyed both shows under the circumstances, everything that's going on right now. Thoroughly had enjoyed both shows tonight. Both of them in their own right, doing their own respected tournaments here. We know AEW is trying to crown a new TNT champion. Meanwhile, NXT, they've got this interim cruiserweight championship tournament that's going on and everything. And let's say a little bit about AEW first. We got a loaded show for you guys. We're going to be talking about both of those shows. A couple of little headlines that's going down since last I was on the air with you guys. But it was real fun doing the show Monday night because we went a little bit all over the place. But this show is going to be a bit more time conscious because I do have to get up in the morning and take care of a few things. One thing I do have to take care of, the dog is going to be, a little cute doggy is going to be going, Maggie, she's going to be going to the vet tomorrow morning. So we're going to try to get some tests done on her, and fingers crossed, guys, hopefully it's a UI, and hopefully it's, I've yet to hear of dog or cats being contracted with COVID-19. So hopefully, because I'm quite sure they're probably going to maybe test for that if they have the capabilities. I heard on good authority that somebody that works up there wants to test Maggie just to make sure nothing like that is going on. But it's okay, how would you even know if, I'm a little bit curious about that, but hopefully it's just a UI that's been going on with her, just to follow up on what was being said from the Monday night show. So AEW for this week, once again, Le Champion, Chris Jericho, doing color commentating once again with my man Tony Schiavone. I got to give it up to Jericho. It's been refreshing to hear him these past couple of weeks doing the color commentating. I've actually been enjoying his work quite a bit, and I know at some point he's going to have to sadly step away and get back to the in-ring action, but it's been awesome seeing him in the role that he's been in so far. Thoroughly been enjoying that. What the heck was that? That must have been somebody subscribing. I'll have to peep that out in a second there. Sorry for the sound effect, you guys. But no, it was actually pretty damn good tonight. Love hearing Jericho and everything. Let's talk about some of these matches we got here. So once again, we had the TNT Championship Tournament qualifying matches that went down tonight. First one, we saw Darby Allin defeat Sammy Guevara. Damn good matchup, I gotta say. Damn good matchup, and little by little, my man, little by little, my man, freaking, if you hear me laughing, for those of you that's going to be listening to the audio, I just saw the little graphic with Pikachu that was just running on the screen just now. That was hilarious there. I got to edit that in post-production. But yeah, I'm coming around, man. Sammy Guevara is starting to win me over little by little. I got to say, he is a talented young man. And I was a little bit hard on him at first because I wasn't really seeing too much personality coming from him. But as the weeks have progressed of AEW programming, I cannot deny it any longer. I am slowly but surely becoming a big fan of Sammy's by the week. And I tell you what, I get why Chris Jericho and a few others, we got to sign this guy. I'm seeing it now. I am legitimately seeing it. And I mean, just think, as young as he is right now and just everything that he's able to do, just imagine where he's going to be in about 5 years from now. Now, I'll be the first to tell you guys, just the way he currently looks, just physique-wise, you know, he's not quite at that Dwayne The Rock Johnson build. He's not quite at that Triple H build. I can see him in a few more years. I can see him definitely picking up some bulk. But then at that, how much bulk does Sammy want to pick up? You know, does he how much muscle mass does he want? Because the more muscle mass you put on, you would like to think a no-brainer, your whole offense, you know, just everything about your moveset is going to have to change drastically, because he's not going to be able to keep doing all that stuff that he's currently doing right now. So I'm just kind of, you know, looking at him, thinking about his age right now and everything, and I'm kind of picturing him a few years from now. Because I mean, where his build is now, it's kind of similar to The Miz. but I can see him getting naturally even more bulk. I don't even think Sammy has to try that hard just to pick up more bulk. I just think with age and everything that he's currently doing right now, cardio wise and everything, I think the man's going to be able to pick up even more bulk. But I'm quickly becoming a fan of him. Darby Allin as well. I've been a big fan of his for a good minute now. Luckily, I was able to see, and that's sad. It's sad that we got a lot of people that when they're checking out AEW and NXT, particularly AEW, it's kind of sad that some of the guys that you're seeing there on AEW doing a little bit of double dipping, because a lot of these guys, you can see a big bulk of their work, not just with other promotions, but you can also see a big bulk of their work in promotions like MLW, which is on BN Sports. Airs a couple of times a week. I've got my DVR set, as a matter of fact, to record first run and repeat episodes. So even though they're no longer pumping out new episodes, I can go back, because I hit first run and repeat. I can see other episodes that maybe I didn't see from years prior, and it's a great way for me to catch up and see what's been going down and everything, man. Gino, what's going on with you, my friend? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And if you all would like to do a super chat while we're live on the air for the next little bit, you guys can definitely do that. Super chats are welcome. Appreciate that. Much love. Subscribe as well. Matter of fact, let me give a shout out, because I think I heard somebody subscribe there. Let me see who that was. If I can see who that was here. Yeah, looks like White Trash Wisdom had gave a follow. I believe that's on YouTube. I don't think that's on Twitch, because I haven't really done anything with Twitch just yet. Gino, thank you for the kind words, man. Gino said Lee is the best. Lee is number one. Well, I'll consider myself to be look at it this way. Remember back in the day we had Johnny Carson, and then it went Jay Leno, and then you're like, okay, then it went Johnny Carson, or actually no, it went Jay Leno, David Letterman, Conan O'Brien. You just look at me as the guy that comes on fourth, like after those guys. I'm good in my own right, but I'm the guy that comes in after the other three guys, basically. But no, Gina, I appreciate the words. Thank you. But no, Darby Allin, I'm really starting to become a big fan of his as well. But yeah, I can't stress it enough. Guys like MJF, guys like Darby Allin, Jimmy Havoc, a lot of those guys that you all be seeing on AEW, if you become a really big fan of theirs, I can't stress it enough. You owe it to yourself to go out of your way and see if you have BN Sports, and if you do, just set your DVR to record all episodes of MLW. You can honestly, you can get caught up in no time on what all you missed of those guys. Some of the stuff that they were doing over there in MLW, by the way, freaking insane. That's all I gotta say. Freaking insane. You'll thank me later. Kenny Omega had returned to action for the first time in many weeks. We saw him take on a guy by the name of Alan Angels. It was a good match, actually. I thought this was just going to be a straight up squash match, as basically this was just kind of a reintroduction of, hey, Kenny Omega is back. Let's not forget he's one half of the tag champions and everything. But where I was a little bit concerned about this match, I was trying to understand the booking of this match. And the booking of this match and you know what? Commentating would have really helped out tremendously to help us, the viewers, understand why this match went as long as it did. Which is this. This is the problem that I had with this match. This Alan Angels guy, who we've never really seen before, kind of looks like one of the guys from the Dark Order, and if that is one of the guys from the Dark Order, I apologize in advance, but they all have the same similar build and look. You just kind of scratch your head after a while going, Dark Order, who is this guy? But as far as I'm concerned, I've never seen Alan Angels before, and we've got Jericho, who's just ripping this guy a new you-know-what, but we see him start to put on some offense. And you're going, okay, a couple of moves here and there. Okay, that's cool. Nothing special. But the fact that the match went as long as it did, And we had Kenny Omega at one point. I think it was before he finally did the V. Was it the V trigger? Or did he do the V trigger twice? There was some sequence that went down where he did one of his signature moves. He goes for the cover, and Allen kicks out. And you're going, what the hell? The match should have been over. What the hell? You've got Jericho putting over Kenny Omega, talking about, hey, he's got a silly ass, stupid pumpkin face with the curly little hair. But you know what? The very first time that I faced Kenny Omega, we had an instant classic matchup. And he's a very good opponent. What he does in the ring, I may not like the fact that he's with the Elite and he's not with us and everything, but everything put to the side, he is a phenomenal wrestler. So I'm hearing Jericho give this man the endorsement and everything, and yet Omega was struggling with this match. And the most simplistic way that could have been covered by both men at commentating should have been, hey, I'm sure folks that's watching Kenny Omega in action right now are probably wondering what the hell is going on. Why doesn't he just put this guy away? Why is this match going as long as it has? Well, folks, we got to remember we haven't seen Kenny these past couple of weeks, given the circumstances and all. So Kenny, obviously, he has a little bit of ring rust here, and he needs to put this guy away already, or else this could be a huge upset. If they would have said something like that, I would have just totally been into this matchup, because now my whole thinking is, well, damn, if Kenny Omega can barely come out with the victory against a guy like this, then what's going to happen if he's in action the very next week and he's facing somebody, I don't know, he's facing... shit. For example, he's facing John Moxley, or he's facing, I don't know, Brody Lee. Like, what the hell? So for me, kind of had a little bit of beef with that matchup, but good matchup. Went on a little bit too long as far as I was concerned. Appreciate Kenny Omega trying to put the guy over, though. I do appreciate that, but there's a time and a place for things. Sometimes you gotta just, enhancement talent is enhancement talent, nothing more and nothing less. Moving on, Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy was in action. He defeated Jimmy Havoc. That actually was pretty good. Closing moments of that matchup, we actually saw Penelope Ford. She jumped up on the ropes, was trying to distract Orange Cassidy. And then I want to say it was maybe Trent Beretta. Trent Beretta had actually grabbed Penelope Ford's leg, one of her legs, and basically tried to make her fall. But instead, she basically does the Melina split on top of the apron and everything. It was pretty badass how she did it. And she's looking back at Beretta and the other guy. Oh, I can't think of the other guy's name right now. But she's looking at both of them. Meanwhile, Jimmy Havoc, he tosses himself over the ropes, crashes into both of those guys. Action gets back into the ring. Referee is a little bit distracted. Penelope Ford hits the top rope. She's thinking she can do a high risk, high reward maneuver. Or in Cassidy moves out of the way. And unfortunately, she hits Jimmy Havoc. Orange Cassidy comes in with the roll up. 1, 2, 3. Orange Cassidy wins that way. However, he quickly got a beat down by Jimmy Havoc post match. And as a matter of fact, let me actually jump, because I did take some additional notes with that one. Let's see. After the match was over, Cassidy, Havoc post match. Yeah, Havoc had laid out Orange Cassidy post match. Best Friends had came in, try to help him out and everything. But they already had the damage. They had rolled out by then. But that was actually a pretty good matchup. I gotta give a lot of props to that one. It's pretty entertaining. I was wondering. See, here's the thing though. I'm not really sure if Orange Cassidy should be doing what he's doing in the ring right now. And let me explain to you the reason why. And it's not long-winded. There's no crowd reactions. There is no crowd reaction, so it's just not the same. I miss the crowd reactions to Orange Cassidy, because some of us, I'm one of those type of people. I don't know how you guys are, but I'm one of those type of people. It's one thing if I like a talent, and I do like Orange Cassidy, crowd or no crowd. But it seems that for me, and I'm sure it is for a lot of you guys, especially with a guy like Cassidy, it seems that things are heightened even more. You are filled with even more excitement when you see the crowd are reacting to a guy like that in a really cool ass way, and you're going, oh man. And so I really miss the crowd. I really, really do. With regards to Orange Cassidy, I don't really know if he should be wrestling right now. Maybe he should just be making little cameos here and there. Honestly, I think probably the best way Orange Cassidy should be used right now, especially during this pandemic, I think we should just be having Orange Cassidy make cameos here and there. You know, you're just watching what you're watching on TV with Dynamite, and then one minute you see Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy is maybe sitting by himself, maybe in the bleachers or whatever. It looks like he's got the best seat in the house, and as the camera is zooming in on him, he just throws up you know how he throws up that freaking thumbs up and everything, a little fake thumbs up. Just do it like, cause he has so little energy to give you a full thumbs up. He's got to do a half cock thumbs up and shit. But it would be nice to see him in little stuff like that, little scenarios like that. It'd also be badass if you saw him in little backstage segments where he's just sitting down in a chair and he's just, you could almost kind of make him be a Deadpool of the AEW Dynamite roster. Nobody is acknowledging him. Like, he doesn't exist. He's just popping up randomly and he's just doing some weird, funny, silly little shit that only we at home are able to really acknowledge and pay attention to. I think that's the best way you can do it, at least until all of this shit dies down, quite honestly. But yeah, him just having wrestling matches, it's not the same. It's just not the same. Also, we got a video package of Brody Lee. Brody Lee was talking to I guess he was a college football player, right? I guess he was a college football player. He got dumped by a girl, and he went on the Dark Order website, and he basically was talking. And see, I'm looking at this guy, I'm going, who are they trying to introduce us to now? Who are they getting ready to promote? Who are they getting ready to say coming soon? And I guess maybe we'll see this guy somewhere down the line. I don't really know, or if maybe this was just a case where it was really about pushing the hell out of Brody Lee and the Dark Order. But anyway, this guy, and we never did see his face. We never, keep that in mind. We never did see his face. At most, you see his top of his hair, you see his eyebrows, you see his eyes, but it's not enough to go, oh, I know exactly who that is. But basically, this guy who was a former college football player, he ends up finding the Dark Order on the website. It leads to him having a meeting with Brody Lee. Brody Lee is in this dark office. He's got his business suit on. And you kind of picked up a little bit of Vince McMahon there once again, because Brody Lee is saying to him, hey, you came, thank you so much for coming. I know you wanted to know a lot more about us, about the Dark Order and everything. I understand you used to play football, is that correct? And the guy is going, yeah, okay, and how tall are you and how much you weigh? And the guy tells him, and Brody Lee is just nodding his head, and he's talking about how a lot of people in AEW are basically being handed opportunities or whatever that they don't rightfully deserve, some shit like that. You kind of couldn't help but cringe a little bit, because you're going, oh, please tell me this isn't kind of going in he's gonna puke, and that's just like, please don't go in the Vince McMahon vibe again. Just a little faint, just a little tiny faint of it. But basically, Brody Lee was telling this guy, hey, don't be afraid of success, because what we're able to offer you in the Dark Order, you're going to be nothing but golden with us by joining us. That's basically was Brody Lee's message to the guy. Gave him a mask and tells him, here with the Dark Order, you're home, so welcome. And that pretty much was it. It was almost kind of like so I'm like this. So Brody Lee, since you're being this receptive to having former football players join the Dark Order, does that mean the entire league of players from the XFL can now join? Because they need something to do right now. I mean, if you want to talk about some serious fucking numbers, holy shit. Yeah, there's some numbers right there. Yeah, Gino, just going back to Orange Cassidy one more time. Yeah, because I see what Gino is saying in the chat room here. Besides, if you guys want to hop in the chat while I'm live and say hello, remember, you can do it. It's on YouTube. Gino's saying Orange Cassidy's character needs a crowd. Definitely. He does. He does. He just plays off of it so well. And then when we're watching at home and we see how the crowd's reacting, we're already into it, but we're feeding. You know how it is. It's like when friends get together. Y'all usually amp it up times two when y'all get together, as opposed to it's just one person. You get it. Brody Lee having a match against a guy by the name of Justin Law. Pretty much a squash match. Brody Lee just demolishing the hell out of him. Post-match, Brody Lee is giving, of all people, he is giving my man Marco Stunt the evil eye. Marco Stunt not backing down. He's all good for the fight. He wants it, but Brody Lee doesn't bring it to him. I was thinking for sure Brody Lee was going to do a cheap shot, but he didn't do that. A couple of segments later, we hear that as far as next week's Dynamite goes, get this, Brody Lee is going to be facing Marco Stunt. You heard me right. Marco Stunt is going to be facing Brody Lee. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. I'm not exactly that thrilled to be watching this match. I hope, honestly, pandemonium breaks out. And if anything, maybe it sets up some type of a 6-man tag match. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see Marco Stunt, Brody Lee somehow end in a no contest, because Brody Lee does some shit that maybe gets him DQ'd or whatever, and maybe this makes Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy come out, and then Evil Uno and a couple other guys come out, and then maybe that's how you can do the tag match or whatever. But I'm not just sold right now on Marco Stunt taking on Brody Lee for next week. To each his own. For me, that does not do anything for me. Next up, Wardlow was in action. This was another squash match. Wardlow defeated a guy by the name of Lee Johnson. By the way, I've been loving it the past 2 weeks. I did watch last week's shows. I just didn't talk about them, but I did love hearing Jericho make fun of Shug G. I love the names he's been giving that guy. It's just a funny ass running gag. And what's also so cool about it is Jericho subliminally, mind you, is helping all of us remember that guy. And so I think it's a good thing if Jericho keeps mentioning this guy over and over and over again. Jericho, that is, must think this guy is pretty talented. Otherwise, he wouldn't just keep throwing his name out there like that. But I love the clever little zingy ways he brings it up. By the way, to get the second installment of the Bubbly Bunch, I've been eating this shit up. Now, I gotta admit, this week's The Bubbly Bunch was not as strong as last week's. I will admit that, because I died in hysteria looking at the first installment from last week. This installment, all they basically were doing, whatever the dance was they were calling it, that they all ended up doing, I didn't particularly care for it, honestly. I had a fun little moments leading up to them doing the dancing and everything, but last week's was better in my mind. Last week's was better. See, also a couple of more matches here. I think at this point, yeah, we got one more match. We got one more. It was the main event match. It was the TNT Championship Tournament quarterfinal match here, much like the one that kicked off Dynamite for tonight. Dustin Rhodes defeated Kip Sabian via pinfall. Entrance stipulation was put on this one. Freaking Dustin, he basically said to Cody, hey, look, if I can't beat this kid, then it's going to be the last time you see me in AEW. I will just retire right then and there. So you're kind of hearing that and you're going, okay, so of all people, Kip Sabian, you're gonna not quite seeing that. I didn't buy into that. I'm not sure if you all have bought into that. By the way they had did the video production and setting up the tournament and everything when opening up Dynamite tonight with Cody, and I guess he was in his back cave or some shit. He got all these freaking panels. Look like something from Batman, and he's just going over all of the opponents. You've got Arn Anderson coming in via intercom or whatever, giving him some info and everything. It was kind of cool how they did that, but it was mostly Cody Rhodes that was narrating. I thought that was kind of cool how they had did that. I thought that was pretty badass. Didn't appreciate them doing CGI on the back of Cody's chair though, to basically emulate the logo that he has on his neck. They basically try to put that on the back of his chair. If you didn't watch Dynamite yet, you got it on your DVR, you'll know what I'm talking about. It simulate everything was simulated like I don't know what, but the chair was definitely the dead giveaway. Everything looked cool with the panels and the way they had it set up with Cody looking and everything, but when you looked at the back of his chair, it's a weird angle how they did it. You couldn't help but kind of chuckle a little bit, but next time get that man a real chair. Come on, get him some stickers. Just get a nice, use the real back of the chair, put some stickers on that bad boy, and you'll be all right. Let's see. That was an okay matchup, though. That was actually an okay matchup. It was good. With Dustin winning, he's gonna go on to face Lance Archer. I think that's the right move, and honestly, Lance Archer, Dustin, that's going to be a straight up brawling type of a match. And honestly, I'm curious, is Dustin going to continue to have this stipulation be in effect about, hey, if I can't win this whole tournament, then, or was it just particularly with Kip Sabian, that's just how confident he was going to advance? What's going on here? But if Dustin is, hey, I'm in this until somebody takes me out, and then once I'm taken out, I'm done. That's some serious tight-ass bragging rights that Lance Archer could have, especially if the ultimate endgame is Lance Archer to face Cody. I still feel when I was offering thoughts on who I'd like to see in the finals, remember what I said some weeks back? I said I'd like to see Archer and Cody go at it. That'd be kind of killer in my estimation, but Archer, Dustin, that's the right way to go. Almost kind of has a Rocky IV vibe to it if you kind of stop and think about it, right? I mean, we kind of see where this is going, and obviously Cody is going to have to be the one to avenge his brother, so to speak. So some interesting stuff that they did right there in setting up next week. And Chauncey, with regards to, AEW sucks and NXT is better. Hey, look, I don't know how young you are, but peep this out. I don't care if it's AEW. I don't care if it's NXT. I can talk MLW. I can talk New Japan Pro Wrestling. I can talk Ring of Honor. I can talk Impact Wrestling. I can talk Shine. I can talk Shimmer. We care about one thing here with the RCWR show, and that's, hey, we love all forms of wrestling. You want to do that whole, this is better than that, that's your opinion. But guess what? If all you want to hear is NXT, we are going to be talking about NXT in a couple of minutes, but our audience, we are the most universal audience that you will ever come across because we appreciate all things wrestling. We give everything a chance. And when something needs to be given constructive criticism, we give that constructive criticism. When something needs to be given praise, we give it that praise. So I don't know how young you are, but just know that like little stuff like that, our audience will chew you up real quick. It's like go elsewhere is what they'll say to you. So just kick back, relax, enjoy yourself, right? But what they did with AEW tonight was actually pretty good. I got to give them a lot of credit. The way they had advanced some arcs there. especially with this tournament. I like the way things are going with the tournament here. Well, Chauncey, that's good. You've been around since the NWA. I'm just saying, brother, you're entitled to your opinion just as everybody else is entitled to their opinion. I just know if you really want to, this is my whole thing. Don't come into the chat talking about, oh, this sucks and this is better, because we don't tolerate that here. We don't care for that. What we care about is the good, the bad, and the indifferent when it comes to some of these promotions that we're talking about. And you know what? Let me be honest with you too. And I'm talking to everybody. I'm not singling out Chauncey, so Chauncey, don't take it personal. But in a day and age right now where the only thing we can do is either go to the grocery store, maybe go outside for a little bit of a walk, and what we have on TV is extremely limited. We really, as a society right now, especially in North America, we really cannot be shitting on whatever is left of new original programming, because for a lot of us, we're going kind of crazy right now, especially that we ain't got no sports. Yeah, that's pretty fucking, take what you can get, folks, because ain't no telling how much longer this shit's gonna be lasting, and it's quite sad. All right, so I don't think I have anything else more to add with regards to AEW for this week. Like I said, paid attention to what they did last week, but this is really my first time in a couple of weeks talking about both promotions. So 2 cents from a distance, I actually like what AEW had did for this week. Enough said. NXT, let's talk NXT. NXT, they had their own respected tournament that was going down. This was for the interim cruiserweight championship that they had going on. Oh, by the way, before we get off of AEW, there was 2 things I want to point out. Matt Hardy had a nice vignette. He basically was issuing a challenge to the champion Chris Jericho. I think he called him Le asshole, whatever he called him. But he basically had said, Jericho, I challenge you to a match at my compound. I challenge you to a fight. I forgot what he called it. I think he called it the All Elite Deletion. That kind of sounds about right. And he said, I watched AEW Dynamite last week expecting for you to respond to my challenge, and you just didn't reply to it. So you're either scared or I don't know what's going on with you, but I tell you what, you know who wasn't scared? Seems that the only person that had a set of balls was your boy, Sammy Guevara. So Sammy, the challenge is issued to you. If you still got the balls, you can step in place of your boy Jericho and you can fight me at my compound. I'll wait to hear from you. But Jericho, if you want some of this too. And I thought it was kind of cool how broken Matt Hardy stepped away and let I Will Never Die Matt Hardy speak. And you see him come back, hair slicked back in a ponytail, leather jacket and everything. And pretty much the Matt Hardy we saw right before he got taken out by Orton, basically. And he cut a pretty good promo. You could kind of tell he was reading. It was obvious because, you know, nowadays Matt kind of has I'm sure he'll admit to it as well, he kind of has a lazy eye going on. But it was pretty obvious he was reading something as he was talking, as opposed to when he was broken hearted. It kind of seemed as though he had all of that memorized. But that was kind of cool. Did not hear anything from Sammy Guevara as far as accepting the challenge from Hardy. Maybe we will next week. The other thing I want to point out before we move on to NXT, MJF. And this is another reason why, again, you guys need to be paying attention to MLW and everything. For the longest time, MJF was doing his thing in that promotion with the Dynasty. They were tearing it up over there, and I can't stress it enough. Watch from a couple of weeks ago MLW with MJF taking on Mance Warner in a loser leaves MLW empty arena match. I mean, it was something else, and the ratings for that episode was pretty damn impressive. So much so that Kurt Bauer actually went to social media, thanked everybody for checking it out. It was really good. MJF, I thought it was going to be Mance Warner that was going to be, but MJF was actually the one that lost that one. And it sucked because I've been saying this for the longest time since we've gotten AEW on TNT. I've been telling folks MLW is like what you saw of MJF on AEW. Man, he's amped up times 10 when you go check him out on MLW. And I'm just very curious now that you no longer have MJF there with the dynasty and everything, what are you going to do now is the question, because without MJF, it just feels as though the dynasty is just, I tell you who would be a good successor. I don't know if they can land him. I teased his name a couple of weeks ago, EC3. EC3 would be perfect, a perfect fit in there, but that's to be determined, but more on that at a later date. All right, so let's talk some NXT now. NXT, some good matches tonight here. Okay, so we have, first off, looking at the notes here, we had Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez taking on Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Knox. Team of Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez picking up the W. So actually, that went to a pretty good start. Got to give the girls a lot of props opening up the action. They did pretty good. I've been checking out a bit of Shotzi Blackheart off and on for a couple of years, and I'm continuing to be amazed by her. I can't wait to see her official action figure that comes out under whatever toy line. I'm curious if she's going to come with the tank and all that, because I just think that's badass about her entrance, is the fact that she comes out to that little toy freaking Tonka truck thingamajigga. It's pretty badass. I love it. I eat it up, man. Also, we had got a opening where we were supposed to see Finn Balor in action. Finn Balor was supposed to be in action against Velveteen Dream, but something weird had went down where Finn Balor was not able to show up. We're told that something weird had happened to him. And as far as that main event match, it was out of the books. So Dream, we saw him in the ring. He's mocking the fact that, all right, no more Balor. Okay, and he's actually making fun of him and everything. But then we see my man, Adam Cole, baby, he comes on out and says, nah, I know exactly what you're doing here. I know you're trying to put yourself in a position by default where you could be the number one contender. You could try to somehow wiggle your way to getting a championship match against me. I see what's up. It ain't happening. Basically, what he was causing was a distraction. It pretty much Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish attacking the man from behind. And once again, you had a 3-on-1 mugging there until, bask in its glory, Keith Lee came out, evened up the odds. Once again, pounced the hell out of my man, freaking Adam Cole. There is just something magical and monumental about anytime you get Keith Lee and Adam Cole together. Just watch. And I love the fact, and I appreciate the fact that Adam Cole sells like a mofo for Keith Lee. Just the littlest thing, but especially with those shoulder tackles or the pounce, whatever you want to call it. I love how Cole sells the hell out of those joints, man. Good shit right there. Also, we had our interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship Tournament match. Drake Maverick taking on Jake Atlas. Sadly, Jake Atlas picking up the W here. Now, this is where I'm a little bit confused, and I'm going to have to rely on you guys a little bit here, because I'm seeing these records that's popping up on my screen when we're looking at these guys. And, you got bracket A and you got bracket B. So what I'm trying to understand is Drake Maverick was talking about he's got 3 matches to pretty much win the whole thing. Okay, well, he lost to Jake Atlas. So does that mean we're not going to see any more of Drake Maverick is my question? Because the way that they had the brackets there when they were showing us at the end, for those of you that did watch NXT tonight, it kind of came off as if whoever had the lowest win-loss record would maybe be eliminated. So I'm a little bit confused by that. And I did maybe I'll answer my own question by, yeah, and the reason why I'm bringing up that question is because at the very end, once we had got the matches that we got for tonight for the brackets, they did a recap of everybody's freaking, hang on a second, guys. Hang on a second. I'm sorry, but Chauncey, I love you, brother, but you know what? Dude, I don't know how young you are. You must be 14. Do yourself a favor. Go get some milk. Go get some cookies. And go to sleep. Because that talk about Vince is going to put this company out of... Dude, you know what's going on right now, right? We got COVID-19. The last thing that anybody wants to see is somebody out of a job. Seriously, dude, like grow up. Seriously, grow up. We're not bringing that type of stuff here. We're not. That's not cool, dude. That's not cool. All the shit that's going on right now, I hope that your loved ones and everybody else, I hope that they have not been suffering employment-wise. I hope they have not been suffering to the point where they lost their jobs and they got to try to collect unemployment and all this other stupid shit. They've either been fired, furlough, whatever the hell you want to call it, because this ain't the time right now to be without a job and you got bills that need to be paid. Please. Take that shit elsewhere. You know, it was all fun and cute for that first little bit that you were in the chat talking about AEW sucks, NXT rules, and you know, now you want to talk about people being put out of business? Nah, man, you can take that shit elsewhere. That's not welcome here. No. You know, and that's the sad part. We're finally talking about NXT and he's still caught up on AEW and like that. Goddamn, that was like 15 minutes ago. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, so I'm looking at a picture of the tournament standings for Group A and B. And I wish I could show you. I got to do screen share for you guys next time. But the way that they got it set up here, you know, you're looking at the records and you're like, wait, okay, well, Drake Maverick is 0-1. So why? So I'm kind of under the impression it's all about win-loss records here. If I'm understanding that right, you guys that watch the show tonight of NXT, let me know. And hopefully before we get off the air, we'll have the right information there. But moving right along to some more action that went down on tonight's NXT here. By the way, can I talk a little bit about, because I don't really think I had gotten an opportunity to, other than with Sunday's Wrestling with the Topics, because we did talk about the WWE releases. So for those of you that's kind of wondering my thoughts on the releases, go check out Sunday's Wrestling with the Topics. It's available on the YouTube channel. It's also available in audio format on demand and on the downloads. But that emotional video that Drake Maverick had put out there, reacting to his release and everything, letting the fans know, hey man, you're going to see some really good action that's going to be coming over the course of the next couple of weeks. You know, I got, 3 really solid matches. I asked if I could participate in this tournament, and powers that be said, yeah, go ahead. I'm telling you, man, Drake Maverick, I'm just looking at this guy and just thinking about everything from Impact Wrestling to now. Been loving what I've been seeing of the man. And I gotta tell you, this Jake Atlas dude did not impress me one little bit. I'm a little bit flabbergasted, quite honestly. I'm looking at the guy, and he's got a nice smile. I'll give him that. He's got a nice smile. Physique doesn't really jump out at me. The way he talks is very eloquent. I'm not really sure if the babyface route is the way he should be going. That's the point that I'm making when it's all said and done. I kind of feel as though maybe he should have been a heel right here. I'm not liking what's going on with him right now as far as how he's being booked. Because if there was ever a time to have a villain be hated so much on social media. Now, the thing that we got to remember, let's pump the brakes a little bit. This shit's been taped, maybe 2 weeks ago or whatever. So I'm quite sure if WWE could have, at least I believe it was been taped 2 weeks ago. Don't quote me on that. I know I saw WWE's taping schedule from a couple of days ago. I got to pull that up next time for you guys and hip you guys to how they're going to be doing it from here on out. But that's just my thoughts on maybe I'll give the devil his due. Maybe in a couple of weeks, Tony Atlas I said Tony Atlas. Well, I understand why I said Tony Atlas, because it's fucking Jake Atlas. Maybe in due time, Jake Atlas can win me over, but for right now, nah, nothing going on there. All right, next interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship Tournament match. Kushida taking on Tony Nese. Shout out to Triple H and everybody at NXT, because they did something really cool that I have been wanting to see for quite some time. Again, I've missed a couple of weeks, so if this is something they've been doing on a regular, I wouldn't know anything about it, but it was refreshing to see Kushida speaking his native language. And what have I been asking for WWE to do for months when it comes to some of these talents that unfortunately they cannot fluently speak English? I said, give us the English subtitle at the bottom of the screen so that we know what they're saying. And right when this pandemic stuff was going on, I even said, because it had something to do with me bringing up Asuka and Kairi Sane, I said, hey, everybody is at home right now, so it's not as if you've got to be concerned about people in the arena looking at a Titantron trying to read English subtitle and or listen to a English voiceover artist putting over what the people are saying. Okay, you have nobody in the arenas right now, so go on ahead, utilize English subtitle, and that's exactly what we got tonight when Kushida was cutting his promo. I loved it. I ate that shit up big time. I just couldn't help it. I actually was clapping when I saw that. I actually was clapping and say, yes, this is good. They didn't do it for the other guy, the Mexican luchador. His name will come to me in a hot second there. But Kushida was in action against Tony Nese. That actually was a pretty good match. That match went about almost 12 minutes long. Kushida pulling in the upset, I gotta say. That was actually an upset, because I was expecting Tony Nese to come through on that one. But as far as matches of the night goes, I gotta give the nod to Kushida and Tony Nese. I was actually quite pleased with those guys. Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher, they were interviewed next. Riddle talked about how he loves his boy Pete Dunne, and that Pete Dunne will be back very, very soon, but that in the meantime, he's happy to have Timothy Thatcher holding it down, representing for the NXT tag titles and everything. We got a Killer Cross vignette that's also complete with this woman, Scarlett Bordeaux. And we see clips of the attack that went down on Tommaso Ciampa from last week. Pretty much the whole message of this Killer Cross vignette was that doomsday is upon us. Next up, we go to a video package of Johnny Gargano talking while he's at home. And I know we got a lot of Johnny Gargano fans. I know we do. But for me, I had a hard time getting into this. I really, really did. See, I give constructive criticism where I see it and everything. And here's the thing. This whole video package execution, you're now trying to sell me a heel Candice LeRae, and you're trying to sell me a heel Johnny Gargano. And sadly, I just cannot bite into it. It does not do anything for me. Let me go on about this, because I know some of you guys that haven't watched NXT, you're probably a little bit curious about what all had went down here with that little vignette package. Ask your question, UP. What's your question? Before I dive further into the card here. See, UP popped in here. He said, hey, I have a question. Just ask the question. Just ask. We're waiting. We're at the edges of our seat. We want to know, what's your question? What's your question? Spit it out. You're on the clock. Going once. Going twice. I know we got a little bit of a delay here. Come on. What's your question? Spit it out. Type it up. Type your question. Let's go. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Well, while you're typing up your question, we're going to continue on with the show here. All right. But yeah, they're trying to now sell us a heel Johnny Gargano and a heel Candice LeRae. It doesn't do anything for me, sadly. It doesn't. Look, I'm not crapping. I know Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae fans are going to see this at some point, hear this at some point, and before you get all upset, I don't have anything personal against these guys as performers. What they do in the ring and everything is freaking badass. It's freaking badass. I love it. I love it tremendously. But if you're trying to sell me on a heel Johnny Gargano and a heel Candice LeRae, it does nothing for me. It does not feel believable. That's just it in a nutshell. It does not feel believable. But this video package that showed them at home, basically Johnny Gargano was talking about how he got another fairy tale ending when he became the first Triple Crown winner. Nobody believed he'd be the heart and soul of NXT or that he was better than Tommaso Ciampa, but he did. And he's at a table. He's waiting on Candice LeRae to serve dinner and everything. And she pops up. And Johnny talks about how the real fairy tale was believing that being nice was the road to success. So basically, this is his Alice Cooper. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Clean. That's basically what Johnny Gargano is putting out there. And Candice LeRae, it pretty much was the same thing for her. She talked about how when all the other girls came into NXT, how she would try to be a big sister to everybody in the locker room. She was putting everybody else ahead. And she would go afterwards. And basically, her mentality was everybody else ate before her. Well, not anymore. That pretty much was it. So now she's saying, hey, no more, fuck this, Johnny Gargano. And that was, I will say, that was kind of clever how they did that at the end. They basically had said, Johnny Gargano, that is, he said, and you made this nice meal for the both of us. You know what? You eat first. You enjoy your meal first. I'll follow up behind you. And pretty much, they said that the only people they can trust at this point is each other, and their plan is to reign supreme together as the respected NXT champions. So, yeah. I gotta see a lot more than what they had did tonight. I need to see some nasty. I need to see some venom. I need to see some... I gotta see some downright fucking ugly. Now, some of you guys may say, Lee, what you've been getting off and on the past couple of weeks, wasn't that enough to quench your thirst? Sadly, no. And see, the other thing that's been a little bit of a buzzkill is all the stuff that you be seeing Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano do on social media, how they do nice charitable things from time to time for folks, how much of a big gamer Johnny Gargano is and the cool stuff that he be dipping into and everything. So, they gotta be, if they really want to crank it up and they really want people to invest in them being dicks now, you gotta go in the direction of really amping it up. And one of the ways that you amp it up, you gotta take care of the social media. You can't just be acting one way on TV and basically kind of be the opposite. You got to go full throttle. So I'm going to, now that I put that out there, I'm definitely going to be paying attention to what they put out there on social media for the next little bit, because you really got to turn it. You really got to turn it. Even when you're off the clock and some fans recognize you, no photo ops, none of that shit. Just keep it rocking. Just keep it rolling. You got to be dicks. If Johnny Gargano is cutting this promo tonight in this little video package saying, all these kids, they come up to me, wanting my autograph, blah, blah, no more. Okay, well then make sure that you're also being consistent all throughout social media, but especially when you're off the clock. And I just got another notification here. Let's see what we got so far here. All right, so let's see with regards to this question here. In the Cena versus Wyatt match, what was Eric Bischoff's promo? Wyatt based off on the promo he was doing that would cut to Eric Bischoff. He was reacting. Wow, UP, you went, man, UP, you went. I no disrespect, my brother, but WrestleMania was how many weeks ago? Wow, dude, that was God. WrestleMania was what, 3 weeks ago? And you still have that question. You know, I know the answer to that question, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but maybe somebody that's in the chat, maybe Gino, Life, or somebody else that's watching the webcast right now, maybe they can help UP, because I don't really want to dive into that, because there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we can get into. But I'm surprised that after 3 weeks, it didn't click. Yeah, you know what? When you're wide awake, you should reread what you posted in the chat, and I guarantee you, it'll click. And if it doesn't click, somebody in the chat will help you out, man. But that was like 3 weeks ago, man. Don't be sorry. Just that's 3 weeks ago. That'd be kind of like, oh yeah, that what's that Chris Farley joint? Hey, remember that match when Cena had took on Wyatt? Yeah, that was a great match, wasn't it? Like, yeah, it was. Let's see, what other stuff we got tonight for NXT? Hang on real quick here. I want to see what other stuff we got for NXT. I know we had the main event match. Hang on a second here, guys. I lost my notes that freaking quick there, so sorry about that. Let's see. There we go. Let me see here. So we told you about the Johnny Gargano stuff. Mia Yim was in action against a girl by the name of Jessie Kamea. Pretty much a squash match. I wish I had a lot more to say about some of these matches that were either squash matches but you know, Mia Yim, whole purpose of this match was basically selling her as a potential candidate that was going to be facing Charlotte Flair for the NXT championship. So we did get a cameo, by the way, from my girl, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair saying, hey, I issued you a challenge for the NXT Women's Championship. You've had some time to think about it. What say you? Mia Yim welcomes the opportunity. Charlotte Flair coming right back. Hey, I remember how when I first came into WWE and you were one of the first that took me under the wings and was really showing me the ropes and everything. And I tell you what, you were a really good hand. And now with you and me facing each other one-on-one, I'm going to return the favor because, you were such a good hand. And just the way Charlotte Flair had freaking delivered that line, man, it made Mia Yim kind of look, I know this bitch did not just, I mean, it's literally how it was. But yeah, Charlotte, she thanked her. She thanked her for helping her, making her a star. From 5 years ago when she came in there and everything, called her a good hand. Hope she can return the favor this coming week. Stupid. Just freaking stupid, man. Chelsea Green was seen doing a bikini shoot. Robert Stone cutting a promo by the poolside as Chelsea Green was bending over, hitting some nice, good curvy poses. Talking about how no woman in the division, not even Rhea Ripley, has her looks, her brains, her skills. So obviously this is a setup for Rhea Ripley. So interesting little takeaway right there. UP, you go watch that. You go watch that and you go night-night because you said you were sleepy. So you go night-night and we're just rocking and rolling. We're talking about some stuff that went down just a couple of hours ago and some more stuff before we get ready to wrap it up here. Let's see here. Interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship Tournament, El Hero del Fantasma defeated Jack Gallagher. Okay matchup. Okay matchup. It was nice to actually see Fantasma finally on NXT television here. Let's see. Hang on a second. Hey, UP. Hey, UP. We're not going to be talking any further about that stuff that you would like for us to talk about. So, you can keep guessing to yourself. I'm not going to tell you, Yeah, good night. Sleep tight. All right. All right. So, anyway. What the fuck is going on with this show tonight? This has to be the weirdest fucking show tonight I've done in all the years that I have been live on the air. You guys are just... I love you guys, though. This has been a weird-ass fucking show, man. Anyway, talking Phantasma. It's nice to finally see Phantasma on NXT TV. I liked his chemistry against Jack Gallagher. I gotta say that. It was actually was really good. Man, them tattoos on my man Jack Gallagher, girl. Ooh. Ooh. It's not ugly. The tattoos are badass. It's just, you just picture some guys and you go, I'm not really sure, but, who are we as a society to say that tattoo doesn't suit you? Tattoos is about freedom of expression and everything. So sometimes it's just, I don't know. I look at Jack Gallagher and right when he starts taking the shirt off, there used to be a time where I could just focus on Jack Gallagher, the man himself in the ring throwing down. Now, when I'm looking at Jack Gallagher, all I can think about is the tattoo on his chest. I'm not even remembering the shit that he's doing in the ring now. And that's a huge distraction there, man. Huge fucking distraction, at least for me. Hey, post-match, by the way, there were some, I guess some ninjas? I don't know what the hell was going on. Some lucha ninjas? Whatever you want to call them. But there were some guys that was trying to kidnap Phantasma outside in the parking lot there. That parking lot is a hot zone. I think they need to hire some Atlas security or somebody for that because every time you turn around, some stupid shit is always going down there in the fucking parking lot. It's like that parking lot, it is fucking ridiculous. Just fucking ridiculous. Let's see. Main event match. Velveteen Dream, Keith Lee taking on Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. Okay matchup. See, I like how they tried to progress Keith Lee versus Damian Priest, because Damian Priest had cut a little promo, it was a little vignette promo, and he was talking about how he doesn't give a damn about Keith Lee. Talked about all the championship match opportunities that have been given to other people, and how Damian Priest continues to be on the sidelines. He even brought up the whole triple threat, saying, hey, triple threat, Keith Lee, that wasn't even your call, dog. That was William Regal's call. Let's face it, you and me one-on-one, man, you losing that freaking belt. So, forget about it. But that was a good match. That was actually a good main event match that we got tonight. But like I said, it seemed like what they were really trying to do with this particular main event match was really set up Lee and Priest. Put the spotlight on that. And then, of course, Cole versus Dream. But now you put in my man Loomis, the guy that was formerly known as Samuel Shaw in Impact Wrestling. Now you got him in the mix. Somehow he wanted to get involved in this. What exactly are his motives and all that? That's kind of one of those cases where, we got to get him on the mic next week, and, we got to find out from the man himself, what's going on and everything. But Velveteen Dream, Keith Lee picking up the W. Velveteen Dream was on top of, and I do mean this bluntly, he was on top of Adam Cole. And I felt a little bit uncomfortable for Adam Cole there. Wade Dream was on top of him. But he pretty much stood to his feet and was doing the gyrations over his face and everything, almost kind of like he was teabagging him a little bit. And NXT pretty much going off the air like that. So next week is where things really get interesting for NXT programming here. Check this out. So next week, we got the following matches here. Let me pull this up on the card here. Bear with me a second here. Next week, we got Charlotte taking on Mia Yim. And then you got Keith Lee taking on Damian Priest for the North American Championship. So that's going to be tight. Also, looking at the standings for that title tournament bracket. All right, so we got Jake Atlas, Kushida for Group A. They both are at 1-0. Tony Nese, Drake Maverick, 0-1. For your Group B group, or I didn't need to say Group B group, just Group B. Akira Tozawa is the only one with a victory. Everybody else has freaking, actually, you know what? Let me back up a second. Actually, no. Phantasma should have a W, if I remember it right. Let me go back real quick here. Phantasma should have a W. Let me see here. Yeah, because he defeated Jack Gallagher. Yeah, he defeated Jack Gallagher. So, Akira Tozawa and Phantasma, they're both 1-0. Gallagher and Swerve Scott, they're both 0-1. So, that is pretty much it for that. And that's it for NXT. So, you know, both shows, they did pretty good tonight. Now, look, I've been out of the loop with regards to the ratings for the past couple of weeks. I know some of you guys were talking about how, and it was reported that the ratings for both shows were actually pretty freaking bad. Bad to the point maybe both shows should not be airing right now, given the circumstances and everything. I'm going to jump out there and I'm going to say, of the shows for this week, as far as who had the better product and everything, I'm going to say, it kind of feels like a tie, quite honestly. I kind of have to give the edge a little bit more to AEW for this week. I got to give the edge a little bit more to AEW. I'm going to say AEW wins the ratings, and we're usually pretty good with the numbers here. It's been a few weeks, so I'm going to be a little bit rusty because I haven't been paying attention to the ratings numbers, but I'm going to say, and I'm typing this up as we're speaking, I'm going to say NXT for this week, I will say NXT does 525,000. And AEW, I'm going to say they will do 631,000. So once again, I'm going to say NXT does 525,000. AEW, I'm going to say does 631,000. And that is final. Hey, I got some Patreon shout outs, and we got a couple of more little wrestling tidbits we can get into while we're still on the air. We're not going up until 1 a.m., so you guys know. Like I said, I got some stuff I got to do in the morning. Part of that, I got to take the dog to the vet, make sure everything is good with her. But I will be with you guys for the next little bit. Nowhere near a 2-hour show. We'll probably, at this point, do about 90 minutes. So we got about 15 more minutes of showtime. I do appreciate you guys, though, that's with me. I like seeing the fact that the number of people that voted with the poll that we put out on YouTube is essentially, the people that are pretty much popping up, trying to represent. All I got to say is, as long as you know the new time, you remember it, I will definitely continue to keep giving you the show at that same time every single Wednesday night. So unless otherwise, remember that polling is going to stay open until the first Tuesday of May. So you got a couple of more weeks to vote go on the communities tab, youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the communities tab. Shout out to Patreon members, Justin Ripstock, Sean Kenter, John Krauser, Michael Wolf, John Davis. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys tremendously. Patreon.com/RCWR show. Check out bonus audio and video content, exclusive shows. Great stuff you won't be able to find anywhere else. Speaking of Patreon, by the way, me and Tammy, we did record a deluxe edition of 30 with Lee reviewing the season 5 finale of Better Call Saul. The audio's been recorded. I just gotta edit it. So my goal is to have that. I'm actually off work Thursday, which is Thursday right now, depending where you are, but it's Thursday here officially on the East Coast. So after I get done running my errands in a few hours, I will be sitting down, editing that audio, release that for Patreon. And I'm also going to be sitting down with the missus again, and we're going to be recording some more stuff for Patreon. So some fun stuff coming as we wrap up the month of April here. Also, shout out to ChairShotTees.com. Great collaborative effort from Rob Feinstein of RF Video and Shaheen from Nuclear Heat Graphics. You looking for some really cool wrestling memorabilia t-shirts, officially licensed t-shirts? You can find it over on the Chairshot Tees website. There was a few little hiccups because Shaheen was dealing with some personal matters that has since been resolved, so you're now gonna regularly start to see new items added. So make sure you bookmark that site, check it out. Got some really cool merch that's over there. Speaking of which, I gotta give an honorable mention to RF Video and everything. Rob did something really cool last night, and he's going to be doing it, I guess if not every week, for sure he's going to be doing it once a month. And I actually have participated in it. And no, if you see me, that doesn't mean send me a Facebook friend request, because my personal Facebook is only for close friends and family members only. When I say follow me on social media, I mean follow the RCWR show handle on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. But something that I saw Rob do literally yesterday, he was doing a live auction. And with this live auction, he had pop figures that were up for sale. He had tons of 8x10s that were up for sale. And I was minding my own business. It was funny too, because originally I just opened up Facebook just to promote that Monday's show was now available for on demand and downloads, because I have finally got around to editing it and everything. And I was getting ready to record with the missus. And next thing I know, I see the live auction on Facebook. So I go in there and I'm going, okay, well, let me see what he's got. I'll just stick around for about 5 minutes. And he just started busting out all this cool retro shit, man. I mean, I was seeing Stan Hansen, Superstar Billy Graham, Kurt Angle, Bryan Danielson, frickin' Harley Race, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I was seeing a whole bunch of cool ass shit. Goldberg, Bret Hart. I was seeing all kinds of cool shit. And I ended up buying a couple of joints off of him during the auction. And it was really cool how he had it set up too. So what he would do, and I'm giving you guys this information because I don't know how many of you guys love collecting autographed 8x10s, pop figures, and all that. But basically the way Rob had it set up was fucking sweet. So he would show you whatever was for sale. And he would basically, like for instance, at one point he showed a Harley Race 8x10 autograph photo. He said, okay, let's open it up at 15. All right, so if you want it, then you go, hey, I got 15 on Harley Race. And everybody in the Facebook chat can see, who's saying what. And then let's say somebody else comes in and they say, okay, well, no, 15. I'm putting 15 on. Once Rob sees that, then he goes, okay, we got 2 people that want this Harley Race for 15. Okay, well, First person that said 15. If you want it, you got to go higher. And so the auctions were pretty much going like that. It was basically a live auction that he was doing, but a lot of the stuff that he had, it was a case where if you wanted it for that first price, there was a lot of items where nobody was bidding. And true fucking story, I actually got I'll show it to you guys in a future unboxing, but I actually have a 8x10 because I got 3 photos off of him. I'll just tell you guys one of them right now. I got a 8x10 autograph photo of RVD, but not just any autograph photo of RVD. I got an autograph photo of RVD with him holding the WWE Championship and the ECW Championship. And I think I got it for a fucking steal. I think Rob either opened it up at 15 or, matter of fact, I got it right here because I remember I marked down the prices. I got it for $15. And when I was telling Tams the story about the photo, like 30 seconds after I told her the story, Rob even told the story of the photo. And that's kind of how he was doing most of the photos. He was kind of giving you a little bit of a backstory on it. After Rob had gave the backstory on the photo, nobody else wanted it, and I had already put in 15. And then once Rob had said the backstory, I'm thinking, well, shit, surely somebody's going to say, okay, well, nah, yeah, let me get that for 20, or let me get that for 25, or let me get that for 30. So I was able to get the RVD joint with him holding, and it's cool, but kind of funny when you think about it, because you remember that backstory when he violated the wellness policy, and that following week on both shows, he lost both of those fucking titles. But what a cool ass fucking moment that was for Rob Van Dam. And I love that period of WWE. I tell you what, that first ECW one night stand, a lot of fond memories, man. A lot of fond fucking memories. So good shit, man. But yeah, make sure you're following him. And, if you're like me, if you like collecting all little cool types of little wrestling knickknacks, 8x10s, pop figures. He even was selling a NWO mouse pad that was still in its original packaging. He had all kinds of weird, cool little knickknacks that was up for grabs. So, whether it's you or somebody else, spread the good word. And yeah, check it out. Check it out. Good shit. All right, so let's tell you a couple of little headlines here as we are winding down for the night here. So, first off, what a weird month this has been for Vince McMahon. The shit with the XFL. I mean, we've been on top of that, reporting any new information that's come about, but we got some new information that went down. Apparently, the XFL commissioner, or the former XFL commissioner, Oliver Luck, he is suing Vince McMahon for wrongful termination. I'm not really sure how many of you guys had heard about this, but he's claiming wrongful termination. He filed the lawsuit on Thursday, April the 16th. So last Thursday he filed it. He filed it out in Connecticut. And the lawsuit is alleging that Luck is owed money he was guaranteed when he signed on to become the commissioner of the XFL. Yeah, remember, he made the agreement to be the XFL commissioner going back about summer of 2018. So Luck reportedly signed a contract estimated to be $20 to $25 million for 5 years. And apparently the contract, the way the language was set up in the contract, he'd be stipulated, the contract stipulated he'd be due the remaining balance if terminated without cause. I want to stress that again. The way the language was set up in the contract, there was a stipulation in there where he'd be due the remaining balance if terminated without cause. Previously, McMahon pledged that he'd be funding the revival of the XFL, as you all know, with his own money. XFL debuted February, and we know the rest. as a result of the whole pandemic and everything. But Luck did not appear at the bankruptcy filing that took place on April the 13th. Want to make sure we stress that. The lawsuit states that he was never listed as a creditor because Alpha Entertainment, which you all know is owned by McMahon, allegedly filed to reject executive contracts at the same time as filing their petition. So the way things are looking right now with regards to the bankruptcy court, they're reportedly approving the rejecting of those contracts. As a result, Luck's only recourse was to file a lawsuit against McMahon. So not a good month for McMahon when you think about all the shit that's been going on. We kind of talked about this Monday, as a matter of fact. If I'm not mistaken, I had said lawsuit from the class action lawsuit from the people that felt WWE were cheating them, giving them wrong information, some shady shit with regards to the stocks. So you got that. Jimmy Snuka being dug up once again with the new episode of Dark Side of the Ring that came out last week. And so now everybody's kind of looking at Vince McMahon yet again here. The coronavirus and how it's made an impact on the WWE and all the people that have been furloughed as a result, 40 plus basically. Now you got this shit that's going on. It just, the month of May has not been kind to Vince McMahon when it's all said and done. So you can't help but wonder how many of these fires is he going to be able to put out, if he's going to be able to put out all of them. I just do not see Vince McMahon having a flawless victory on all of these things that's going on. And remember, and I want to make sure I'm being consistent here, I still feel, based on what's going on with that class action lawsuit with regards to the stocks and all that, I'm not a numbers guy. I mean, I'm sure if I really sat down and I looked at it, and who knows, maybe we can, at a later date, if the lawyer is willing or whatever, maybe we could one day in the future have the guy that's putting this class action lawsuit together. Maybe we could have him on the show, or at least give us a statement kind of going into a bit more detail about, why folks need to be given a damn about this particular class action lawsuit that's coming against the WWE and everything. But he's not going to be able to put out all these fires. I mean, sure, he might be able to once again sweep under the rug the whole stuff with Nancy Argentino, Jimmy Snuka and everything, but this other stuff and this more current shit, real-time shit, I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. And kind of similar to what we talked about, I'll reiterate it again, because we talked about it on Sunday's Wrestling with the Topics, but unless his boy Trump is willing to pony up some money, assuming he doesn't get another term in office, unless he's willing to pony up some money and help McMahon out here with the XFL, because I'm having a hard time picturing buyers right now, especially during these times. I'm just not seeing it right now. So XFL, it could be dormant for a good minute, is the point that I'm trying to make. Given everything that's going on right now, I think if it wasn't for the pandemic, I think somebody would have bought the XFL. I think somebody would have taken it off of McMahon's hands by now. But with this pandemic that's going on, I mean, if you were to ask me realistically, when do I think somebody is possibly going to, make a bid and entertain the idea of it possibly being acquired? We're pretty much going into May, right? Maybe September. I got to be honest, maybe September. I could see something like September. But also, while we're talking about somewhat sports, WWE and all that other stuff, check this out. According to the TD Garden, this will make you guys raise an eyebrow. According to the TD Garden, as of today, because they actually had put out a statement, TD Garden in Boston, they put out a statement with regards to WWE holding SummerSlam. They put out this statement. As of today, we have not received any updates from WWE regarding changes to SummerSlam, so it is still scheduled as planned. Any updates regarding the event will be posted. I'm not going to give you the link. The link is freaking long. Just go to TD Garden and, TD Garden SummerSlam. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. But they do recommend that you keep checking out WWE's website and social channels for the most up-to-date information. But apparently, SummerSlam is still a go. Now, for those of you that may be wondering, well, Lee, when exactly is SummerSlam 2020? SummerSlam 2020 is going to be going down August 23rd of this year. So you would like to believe that things will be back to normal by that point, but stranger things have happened. I mean, over here in the nation's capital, Muriel Bowser, she's pretty much said the way things are looking right now, things may not be back to normal not until June. Just the way things are going right now, because they're continuing to see an increase in everything. I mean, all across the DC metropolitan area, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. I mean, the numbers just continuing to be steady. Governor Hogan from Maryland, he's yet to even entertain the idea of, okay, this month we'll start. His whole thing is, no, we continue to rise. We need to see a dramatic decrease before we even entertain the idea of relaxing on businesses, theaters, and the whole 9 yards opening back up again. But DC, they're talking about June. So a lot can happen. I think, and I got to see what's going on with Boston, Massachusetts. I got to see what's going on with their numbers and the cases that they've been getting in. Right now, I just know what's been happening with Florida, California, DC, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia, New York. That's really it. I haven't even looked at Massachusetts yet. So maybe next time we're on the air, maybe we can kind of bring them up a little bit, and I'll give you my honest take on if they'll be ready in time. But you all shouldn't be surprised. The reason why I'm talking about this a little longer, y'all shouldn't be surprised to see stuff like this that's going on, because I'll give you a perfect example. The big event, you go on their Facebook page, they're already promoting the next event, which is going to be happening, I believe, November the 14th. I believe it's Friday, November the 14th. It's supposed to be going down. And people were already, I could kind of tell it was a little hostile too, because people were going, how can you book this so many months in advance and we don't know what the hell is going on with the coronavirus? Like, what the fuck? And the person that runs the whole thing, they said on Facebook, hey, this event is for November of this year. So, we're essentially talking about like 6 months from now, basically. So we are booking this with the mindset that by this point in time, everything is going to already be resolved. It's going to be back to business as usual. Of course, if anything changes leading up to that point, and the end result is, we got to issue people refunds and everything, then we're going to do what we are going to do. We're going to honor that, and, we'll deal with it as it comes. But as it stands, it's like 6 months away. So there's a lot of companies, a lot of promotions that's operating like that. So at that point, that's really a conscious decision on the consumer's part. Okay, do I want to put money down on this thing that's coming up in about 6 months? Am I pretty confident that this is going to be resolved by then? It's kind of like with me and Tams. We were talking about the wedding and everything, and originally we were going to try to shoot for, because the wedding was supposed to happen next month. But with everything that's going on right now, it's forget about it. So then we entertained the idea, well, do we try to do it this year? And I was very vocal. I jumped out. I said, no. I was like, it makes no sense to do it this year, because think about it. things may not finally get back to normal, if we're lucky, maybe June. And then think about that. You got July, August, September, a wedding in October. Okay, so friends and family that we want to be at the wedding, they really haven't had that much time to financially recoup. And then they got to turn right around after that and get ready for the holidays. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So, we've now pushed the wedding to next year. We still got money down for the venue and all that, but now it's next year. And we're like, okay, so that makes a lot more sense. So, we're already preparing to, as we speak, we're already putting a little bit of money to the side for the wedding, next year, paying off whatever remaining balance that we have and everything. Beautiful venue. I can't wait to, I'll make sure I take plenty of pictures for you guys. But a lot of businesses, this is how they're all operating. A lot of promotions and everything. You can't fault them for operating with the mindset of it's going to be resolved by then. A lot of us are anticipating football. We can't wait for football. And September seems like a freaking eternity. And we can only hope that things are going to be back to normal so that we can enjoy those Sunday and Monday night games. But stranger things have happened. Yeah, stranger things have happened. All right, so that's going down. So keep that in mind. SummerSlam, it's still going to be happening. Congrats to the guys behind Dark Side of the Ring. According to Showbuzz Daily, the overnight rating numbers for the Dino Bravo episode, that did 221,000 compared to last week's episode covering Snuka, which did 209,000. So congrats to them for that. That's pretty damn good. I did not get a chance to watch the Dino Bravo episode yet. I've actually got to catch up on it on the DVR. But while we're still talking about Dark Side of the Ring, Vice is planning to do more Dark Side of the Ring episodes, also extended cuts of the Benoit and Dino Bravo episodes is set. So I am not surprised about more episodes are going to be coming, because if you guys had listened to my interview that I did with Dark Side of the Ring's producer Evan Husney, he talked about how due to the pandemic, it pretty much had put a halt on the season because they had some more episodes that they were trying to film and everything. So that's good. I love the fact that Vice is really loving this series. Now, if they can just do what they can to improve After Dark, which is essentially like Talking Dead, if they can do a better job in improving that, that would be pretty badass. See, other than that, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else we can get into tonight before we get ready to wrap it up. The updated TNT Championship Tournament bracket semifinals once again, just to make sure we follow up on that one more time. Darby Allin takes on Cody. Dustin Rhodes takes on Lance Archer. Finals for the tournament, that's going to be taking place at Double or Nothing, which is going to be going down on May 23rd. Just to kind of circle back to that one more time. And other than that, I think that's pretty much it. There's really nothing else we need to be diving into. I'll throw it to you guys. If there's something you want to pick my brain on real quick before we get ready to wrap it up, you guys are more than welcome to pick my brain. Otherwise, let me give you guys some quick programming notes. So Friday night, I will be live after SmackDown goes off the air. I'm not sure how much is going to be transpiring between then and Friday, because when you really stop and think about it, that's like we're already in a Thursday, so essentially like 24 hours from now, basically. I'm not really sure how much news is going to surface, but the main reason why I'll be live is to cover the Triple H special, 25th anniversary special. Night one begins with SmackDown, and then it continues on Monday Night Raw, if I remember it right. So I'll be coming on Friday night after SmackDown goes off the air. So look to that. That's going to be a good show. I promise you guys. And I'm just thinking about my work schedule for Friday. And I want to say I'm off at 8. So, I mean, I'm literally just down the street. So I should, worst case scenario, only miss the first 15, 20 minutes of SmackDown. So we should be on air on time. Don't get used to the Friday deal, though, only because of the Triple H 25th special. And I know we were kind of teasing some of the Triple H greatest moments, like my personal picks. I think we'll go ahead. We'll just push that too, because it makes more sense at this point. I'll push some of those fond memories back to that Friday episode. So make sure you join me for that. That'll be on at 10 p.m. Eastern. There's going to be some more Patreon stuff that we're going to be doing as well. That's going to be dropping this weekend as well. And real quick, I'd love to hear from some of you guys. Those of you that's been playing WWE Supercard, I'm curious, how have you been doing with the freaking egg side quests? There's this annoying egg side quest, and I think at this point there's probably about maybe 2 hours left. I'm actually looking at the game right now as we speak. Yeah, there's about 2 hours left. There's this irritating spring egg quest. And I see everybody's been having a problem with this one because everybody has been able to get all the eggs except for one, Leo Rush egg. All you need is 3. But the way that Cat Daddy is it? The way Cat Daddy has set this game up, it is pretty damn hard to get that 3rd Leo Rush. You really got to be grinding, and it's really all about luck in hopes that you're able to get that freaking card. And a lot of people I've noticed were complaining. If you're asking me straight up, I'm in the same boat with many people. I just ain't been complaining. I just been like, hey, it is what it is. It's like, I really ain't got nothing to be complaining about, honestly, because I got 2 Scott Hall NWO WrestleMania tier joints that's already pro'd and everything, so I can fuse them at any moment. Matter of fact, I think I'm now at WrestleMania 36 plus. That's where I am right now. Where I'm a little bit confused though is what's going on with this. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but supposedly there's supposed to be a Giants Unleashed event that's supposed to go down, and you're supposed to be able to win a Triple H Sledgehammer enhancement. And it's weird because when you look at the preview for the Giants Unleashed event that's happening in a handful of hours, and you see what the main prizes are, the main prize is Big Show, a WrestleMania 36 Big Show card. So it's, wait a minute, well, what you just promoted on social media isn't matching up to what's being promoted in the game. Unless I missed that. I mean, I might be off. I mean, I'm actually looking at their timeline right now. I just want to make sure I give you guys the right information here. And Tammy's been hounding me for the past week. She's getting the itch to play some video games again. So this weekend, make sure you're connected to the Twitch account, because we're going to get back into some Batman from Telltale Games. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. If you got Twitter, go check them out. WWE Supercard. This week's Flash Giants Unleashed is the first ever event with equipment. The Hammer, and it's got 3 H's in it, is WrestleMania 36 undercard on the, oh, that's why, on the heroic side. There we go. It's on the heroic side. It includes 3 extra boosts and does not require a Triple H card for usage. So for those of you that's kind of going, what the hell is heroic side? Basically, once you have unlocked all the tiers for the initial event, you then unlock a advanced event, and the difficulty is a little bit challenging. And then hopefully if you clear that, sorry about that. And then hopefully if you clear that, then you're pretty much good to go. So that's going to be a badass fucking card for the people that's going to be able to get that. I don't particularly care for I've yet to play a joint where I'm deep in the heroic mode. I've unlocked heroic mode a few times for ring domination. for Giants Unleashed, but I've never been able to go anywhere past the first wave. Like I can do the first wave of Heroic, and then after that it's just, and that's just with free time, just sparingly, just in between work, or in between this, in between that, and that's it. I can't do it anymore. All right, so in the meantime, be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads. Had a lot of fun with you guys tonight, man. What a weird show this was, especially that first half. That was just, put the weed down. I know 420 was a couple of days ago, but some of you guys are still doing the 420. Hey, I'm not knocking. I'm just saying, put the weed down a little bit there. But that was a weird show. But I do appreciate you guys that take the time out, check out the show live and on demand and on the downloads as always. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed, especially if you missed Monday's show. Webcast version is available. The audio version was released, Tuesday night, right before Wednesday morning. So that's available on demand and on the downloads. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. And remember, your next edition will be covering Friday Night SmackDown. A couple of more little wrestling little tidbits. We'll be live this Friday, the 24th, 10 p.m. Eastern. Patreon members, make sure your notifications are on for content. And for those of you that won't be joining us for the Friday shows or some of the Patreon content that's going to be dropping this weekend, I will catch you on Monday, the 27th, after Raw goes off the air, 11:15 p.m. Eastern. Catch the show here on YouTube. If I don't hear from you guys, have a fantastic week. Enjoy the weekend. Be safe, be kind to one another, and most importantly, please stay the fuck at home if you can help it. Thank you to everybody that checked out the show live. And Matt, shout out to those of you that will be checking out the show on demand and on the download. See you next go round. Y'all do. Take care.